Let's preview those Texas Rangers with Jared Sandler. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. What's going on?
Now, I want to jump right to this because we see it all the time, which of course I think means you see it even more than all of the time. How do you feel about Jacob Latz? Because it feels as though the Rangers fan base has turned against him.
Yeah, I love him when he starts an inning clean. It seems like when he comes into a game in the middle of an inning, he struggles. So when he comes in clean, you look at his numbers. I mean, his whiff rate, strikeout rate, both really, really good compared to the league, top 25% of the league. And that, you don't just give up on that, but it does seem like when he comes into an inning, he has a tougher time. Even an inning like yesterday where he comes in and they get an out at the plate, so that lead runner's erased. For whatever reason, the rhythm for him appears to be different. When he started the other day in D.C., he was awesome. He pitched really well, maybe ran out of steam a little bit there at the end. They were trying to push him a bit. But I do like him, but there's some guys, for whatever reason, they seem to have more comfort when they start with a clean inning, and he seems to be one of those guys.
Yesterday or last night, Boach was talking a little bit about the off-speed pitches from Jack Leiter and how he just didn't quite have control of those exactly the way he wanted to. Do you have any more specific things to elaborate on what he wasn't doing right with his off-speed stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to oversimplify it. One thing that I think I'm going to try and communicate easily that maybe people can follow along with next time Jack starts, because it's more than just this. I don't want to say that it only comes down to this, but one thing he has struggled with in general this year, even through what has been a big step forward, is finishing guys off with two strikes. And you think, all right, well, two strikes, one way to get guys out with two strikes, so you can't get them out with one or no strikes, is the strikeout. He gets his strikeouts with his fastball, and then he can get his strikeouts with his slider. His slider is not a sweeping pitch, though. It's not a pitch that moves a ton horizontally. It's more of a vertical pitch. If you didn't know what it was called, maybe you'd look at it and say, oh, that's probably a curveball.
Yep.
Other than, it's the velocity is up there. But it's a slider. He just, everyone throws their pitches a little bit of a different shape. But because his is more vertical, he needs to do a better job, it seems, of throwing that pitch over the plate and having his misses be below the zone, not off the plate. What's been happening is, and I actually tweeted this last night, a little dot chart of where his two-strike sliders were located. They were all off the plate, glove side. So as a hitter, it's easier to lay off that pitch because Jack doesn't have another pitch that when he throws it at that starting point, you got to worry about. And because it doesn't move a ton horizontally, when it ends up a couple inches off the plate, it's starting a couple inches off the plate, or maybe an inch off the plate, right? So when he throws that pitch over the plate but below the zone, he's going to get more swings and misses. And I think it will tunnel better with his fastball and make it a little more difficult for hitters to make a decision. So that's one thing. I don't want to say it's the only thing, but that is one thing that I think maybe it would be easy to follow along with next time Jack makes his start is, hey, in general, where is he throwing his slider, but specifically with two strikes when he's trying to get a swing and miss, where is that pitch located? Because I guarantee he's going to get more swings and misses when that pitch is over the plate but below the zone as opposed to off the plate.
Now, I'm glad that I've been wrong about this so far, but at the beginning of the season or when the acquisition was made, I described Patrick Corbin as the buffet of starting pitchers. The portion sizes are great in terms of the innings pitched, but the results are usually not that great. He has been decidedly better than I anticipated, and I think a lot of people anticipated. What have you seen from him this season that has been particularly effective?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's pitched well in traffic. He's got a lot of weak contact, and so that's allowed him to pitch well in traffic. It's not like the strikeout numbers are exquisite. It's not like, he doesn't walk anyone. But when he gets guys on, he's experienced enough. It doesn't seem like he panics in any way, shape, or form. And he's just done a really good job of getting weak contact. A lot of people point to the cutter and his ability to better use that pitch against righties to help take away what was a pretty stark platoon advantage for opposing hitters, and he's going to be tested with that again because the Twins do a really good job of matching up. That's a big part of their identity. They love to match up, and they're going to do that again against him today. But the cutter, you look at the pitch individually, like you go to Savant or something, it's not going to have these like amazing numbers where it's like, wow, I mean, this pitch is unbelievable. It's just the ability to use that pitch, the way it causes a little additional hesitation for the hitters, knowing that pitch is in his arsenal. And then just the way, again, that he's been able to get weak contact has been a huge part of what he's been able to do this year. It's not, some of the peripheral numbers aren't, incredibly sexy. But, again, when guys aren't going to hit the ball hard or they don't hit the ball hard, you tend to have a little more chance to limit slug and to limit damage.
How much do players still care about winning a series? Because when we would always talk in the post game, it would be like, hey, every game counts the same. And I realize, like, if you lose to Minnesota, you lose the series, not the end of the world. You move on to Chicago. But I keep thinking 2 or 3 from Washington. If you can take 2 or 3 from Minnesota and just keep stacking up series wins, that's how you're really going to get back into contention. But do you get the sense that players like view today's game as something like that?
I don't think they look at it like, oh my gosh, like for bragging rights, we want to take 2 or 3 from the Twins. I think they look at it though as like a way to break down 162 games. And hey, if we can win 2 of 3, we're going to be in good shape. And I think that they look at today's game not just as one game, but hey, we're going to feel good about getting on the plane, having won back-to-back series. So yeah, I do think that they look at it maybe not like in a, like I said, in a sense of pride or ego way. I think it's just more, hey, all right, 162 games. Yeah, we can throw out the cliche of one game at a time, but let's break it down series by series. And if we win more series than we don't, we're probably going to be in the playoffs. So, I think especially on the road, when you can win a series on the road, you certainly feel good. And I mean, Kevin, it's all mental gymnastics, right? I mean,
sure.
However, every game counts the same. You don't get a bonus point for winning a series or anything like that. But when you can break it down in a certain way, and kind of couch it like that, then maybe it helps a player understand how to get through a season. So I think it's just a form of mental gymnastics to help break down 162.
With that many games, you need it. I get it. Thank you very much, good sir. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.